Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Wayshowers. It is 9:24 p.m. on 4/24/2019, April 24th, 2019. Many energies and codes coming through the field today, through the magnetic field, through the accretion disk. We had 444s, 144s, 222, the 7337, 1111s, 333, 33, and many more. I'm sure many of you had many synchronicities today. So many people are talking about how difficult and challenging it's been lately, especially since the solstice. Many starseeds and lightworkers have felt like they were pile driven into the earth, like the carpet was pulled out from under them. And these are challenging times, I know it. I'm being challenged on a daily basis myself. But the thing is, brothers and sisters of the light, I've been telling people this, you didn't come here because it was easy, or it was going to be easy. You knew the challenges. You came here because it was worth it. You are worth it. Humanity is worth it. Life is worth it. And eternity is worth it. What we are doing now has never been done through any timeline, any multiverse, ever in the history of the Akash. Looking into the Akashic record, what is happening now, and what we are doing as a collective, and what our galactic brothers and sisters, and our ascended teachers, ascended masters, and the angelic realm are doing together. We are here on mission. We come from the higher realms, from the angelic realm, knowing fully, of course, coming into this avatar, we were cast with the amnesia program. Our mind was surrounded with the amnesiatic fluid. I know that's not a real word, I made that up, but it is pretty silly. So I want you to know that your life is a symphony. Many people are resonating with these songs, with these tunes. Many songs have been popping in my head, and I just sing them out in front of people or by myself. I'm sure many people think I'm crazy in this realm, but that's alright. You have to be crazy to come here. That's what the Cheshire Cat told Alice. Because a sane person wouldn't have signed up for this. But that's alright, crazy is just a perception, it's an illusion. So one technique, this is a Buddhist technique, I'm sure it's probably used in other spiritual traditions, so it's this concept of the thought that, especially if something external, if there's people in your life that are irritating and aggravating you. I know many people are experiencing this because that's part of the mirror. There's something within us that still needs to be released. There's a letting go. You just tell yourself, none of my business. It's like a mantra. It's an affirmation. And it seems like a negative thing, like that's none of my business, whatever's happening. But anything external right now that's triggering you is a distraction. Just remember that. It's all a distraction. What is it a distraction from? The love that is within you, that is emanating, that's pulling you into that still center. It's trying to prevent you from doing that. It's trying to preventing you from breaking through to the other side, to the higher realm. So there's different levels to none of my business. There's refinements in everything. But to begin with, if someone does something stupid or ignorant or whatever you want to call it, to say none of my business. If something's happening on the news that triggers you, that's none of my business. You know, until you get to the point where you're in this world but not of this world, and then eventually, you know, you get to even your own thoughts are none of your business. There was a guru that once said, your thoughts aren't even your own. That doesn't mean you don't have free will. That just means the thoughts that flow through your brain on a daily, moment-by-moment basis, they're coming from a higher place, from outside. There is really no outside, inside, but for reference, we'll say it from outside your brain or from outside your mind. It could be from the central sun. It could be from the source code. Could be from the matrix itself. That doesn't matter. All these things are irrelevant. This stuff isn't not being presented for debate or to be right or wrong. We're transcending picking and choosing and right and wrong, but just whatever name you want to call it. The thoughts. So he would say, if you think that your thoughts are your own, tell me what you're going to think next without thinking. What's your next thought going to be without thinking about it? And you can't do it. It's not possible. But you can stop right now, be aware of what you're thinking, and convert those thoughts to what you want to see in the world. Once you start doing that and realizing, you know, you go into the none of my business, it doesn't affect you. And I'm not talking about, I know people go to extremes with every concept and every thought. I'm not saying if you're walking by someone abusing a child to turn your back and it's none of my business. I'm talking about the thoughts, you know, especially when something externally triggers you. It's not the word they say that affects you. It's like when teacher said, it's not the snake bite that kills you, it's the venom that flows through your veins. So someone's saying or doing something, obviously if someone's physically abusing or physically assaulting someone, there has to be, you know, action taken. But as far as verbal or visual, whatever that is that's triggering you, you say none of my business, and that gets you back into the present. And there's other ways to release. You can look up the Sedona method, because every thought has a physiological effect on your physical avatar. A negative thought has a negative effect. You know, if you watch The Secret, they delve deep, or What the Bleep Do You Know? I'm not sure The Secret, but they go deep into that, the physiological effects of negative thinking and how they're addictive based on chemistry, chemicals, neurology, all those stuff. You know, neurolinguistic programs to help people overcome that programming of the internal map of reality. So I want to tell you a quick story about part of my life, because most people don't know anything about it. They just listen to my videos. I really don't talk about it because it's not important, but people have been questioning and asking about my story. So I'll give you a couple quick pieces, just tiny pieces, because I try my best to keep things simple and try not to offend people. I know that's not an easy task these days. You know, in Cleveland we have a saying that I don't know, it's not really a Cleveland saying, but being raised in a extreme climate and a lot of negativity, a lot of craziness, we say, like, the only thing that's going to offend me is if someone walked up to me and punched me in the face, you know. It's like words are just words. People have tried to offend me, saying the most obnoxious things, but when you're raised in trauma and violence, it's like, come on. Give me your best shot, you know, what do you got? Has zero effect. So when I was a child, there were 7 of us that came through my lineage. 2 transitioned at birth, so there was 5. 3 males and 2 female. all O negative blood from the original blueprint. I have to be careful with things that I talk about because I have to protect my family and my people. So I'm going to be very conscious, and I have to leave things out of the story. So if I don't talk about it, there's a reason for it. They took, we'll say, the dark ones, and I try not to focus on the negative because I'm here to uplift and to transcend this illusion of the Matrix. But sometimes it helps to hear the story that, many people have suffered. Most Starseeds have very similar stories about violent childhoods and trauma and torture and whatnot. So I'll tell you a little piece of some of the things I went through to get me where I am today. There were many times that the Dark Ones tried to take my avatar out of this realm, try to transition me, but they weren't successful. I'm sure many of you it happened to. My mother would tell a story about, I was the youngest of the 5 that survived, and I was a newborn baby, and we lived in a place called Cleveland Heights, in a little house. My father was an entrepreneur. I can't say his name to protect my family. And he was a very strong Christian Catholic, and he was in a cult type organization that was a spin-off called the TFP, and he was exposing what the Luciferians were doing through these Planned Parenthoods, and that they eventually locked him up in a psycho ward and stuff, but that's a story for another day. I didn't see him from about 4 years old till I was about 21, because, well, let me first get back to the first time that I know of that the Dark Ones try to take me out of this realm. And I'm not going to focus on the negative, but some people want to know a little bit more about me. And so just to let you know that we're all protected. I'm protected by, and you are too, the angelic realm, your spirit guides, the ascended masters, and obviously your higher self. I'm also protected by a powerful shaman. So I was somewhere 1 month, 2 month old, 3, I'm not sure exact age, but I was a little baby, and my mother was carrying me through the house and taking me into, to put me down to sleep, and she had the light on in the bedroom, and as she was carrying me into the room, something shut the lights off, and she got pushed from behind, and there were no adults in the house. The children were sleeping with little sugar plums dancing above their heads. So she got this push from behind, and as she fell forward, her foot hit like a little fire truck or something, and she was airborne, and she threw me in the air and came down on her arm and shattered it in like 10 places. And I floated through the air and softly landed on a bed, giggling into the night. Even as a newborn, I thought, is that the best you can do? I mean, that's that kind of attitude you gotta have. You gotta, find the humor, because the Matrix, the false Matrix, is a cosmic joke. And then they sent, at 4 years old, they sent a reptilian into our home who took over and brainwashed my mother, and, my brother calls it the abduction. This person named Butler. I still keep the name because it's kind of like Oh boy. See, there's another reptilian trying to interrupt me. So at 4, we were taken from our father and went through about 7 years of trauma and abuse. I had several head traumas by the time I was 11. But they failed again. They failed miserably. And then, what is this guy? What is this reptilian keep? Sorry, I should silence my phone when I'm doing this. So at 12 years old, they sent another reptilian to try to take me out of this realm. And in that instance, when he was choking me and suffocating by the hanging me from the hood of my jacket through my throat, my life passed before my eyes. Now, I'm not telling you this so you feel sorry for me. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And because of the traumas I went through, it led me to my teachers, and it led me to the spiritual path. I could have been a tyrant based on my, could have been the next Genghis Khan based on my energy configuration. But I chose the spiritual path and kindness and love and truth. But as my life passed before me, it opened the doorway to other realms, and the world stopped. And I was thrown into a wall, and a doorknob or something punctured my right kidney. And I saw my life pass before my eyes and the doorway open, and from that point forward, a major shift happened, and I became untouchable at that point. And then I spent the next 20 years torturing myself, which many of us have that same story. And it was mental, physical, you know. I was raised in a lot of violence. I had to fight from 4 years old on until I was an adult, and then I would fight myself. It would be an internal battle. Because when you have to, even when you defend yourself, when you're an empath, you have to defend yourself against violence. When someone gets hurt in that process, you feel what they're feeling, so it's not a good feeling. So it made me become a peacekeeper, and after certain things happened around 12, 13, I then protected humanity. There were many fights I broke up. We lived in a very violent environment. So, with that being said, that's just a little piece of the story. Many starseeds are going to resonate with that, knowing that they're not alone in this journey, knowing that no matter what things appear, there's always a story behind the story. So I know how challenging this realm is. I know we have all suffered enough. And we are at the tipping point of manifesting the new earth. We're on the field of the new earth, but we're in the process of learning how to take in the codes, how to transmit the codes, and how to manifest the codes of the divine, of divinity, of our higher self into this realm. So be patient, especially be patient with yourself. Try to be patient with others. Keep the faith. Keep the hope alive. We are in the event energies. We try to look forward to this new earth, the new paradise, the new Eden, at some future date. But in time, it'll seem like it happened overnight. There's a saying in entrepreneurship and that it took me 20 years to become an overnight success. You know, just like, for example, people saw like Tiger Woods rise to fame very quickly, and people think, oh, he was lucky, but they didn't see, you know, him swinging the club thousands of times when he was 5 years old on the golf course while his friends were playing video games or whatever. They didn't see the years and years of him pushing himself to higher and higher levels until he mastered his art, until he perfected his art, never giving up, never backing down. And that's what we are doing. So keep your practice. If you're practicing a meditation, if you're practicing a spiritual art, a sacred art, stay in the heart, stay grounded. The divine energy's coming in strong now. The sacred feminine is coming online. The Kundalini is awakening. The Kundalini of Gaia. That's why a lot of these fire symbolisms, because it's the Kundalini. You know, we've been under the patriarchy, and we're shifting more to a balance of the feminine, the divine feminine, and the divine masculine, because the patriarchy in the past was of fire, and the divine masculine and divine feminine are of the waters. You know, that's why the age of Aquarius, the age of the waters. The original matrix was the divine waters, the sacred waters. That was the original Eden, but that was hijacked and taken over by the archonic energies, and they converted it to the fire, to the patriarchy, to the false gods, to the false masculine, suppressing the feminine. But the feminine, especially since 2012, I mean, it's been happening through this cultural revolution in the 60s and then 70s, 80s, and then 85 through the harmonic convergence that really accelerated these energies coming in. And then 2012 really was the tipping point to where the divine goddess feminine energy was coming in full force. And then on the solstice of 2018 was the tipping point. That's when Gaia reached a new Earth stage, and then January 1st was the first day of 2019 of the new Earth energies. And we are in the process of helping to manifest what we want to see in the new Earth, what we want to feel, and what we want to be. Because these energies are flowing through us. Our perception is what creates our reality. Our belief system is what we see. Our belief system is what we experience. It's no longer seeing as believing, because we know within and we know in our heart what we want to see, what is possible. And it really is unlimited power, unlimited possibility, but a balance, no separation. The separation game is ending. We are in unity consciousness. No doubt about that. Quantum physics has proven this beyond a shadow of a doubt. So no more with this separation anxiety or separation programming. No separation from source, Mother, Father, God, Prime Creator, Christ, whatever names you want to give to the non-physical, that which is beyond duality. We are not separate from that. We never were, but now we know for sure. So let's see, I think that's all I'm going to cover. I also want to thank our new people in the CBD business. We now have around 79 people on our team. So thank you all for joining me in this adventure. This is a way to fund the first healing center, which I believe my vision is showing me in Ecuador, in a place called Vilcabamba. I'm making many connections with people in Ecuador, people all around the world that want to be part of the project. it would be a healing center and a sustainable community where we grow our own food. We tap into the natural springs of the flowing glacial waters in the foothills of the Andes. The Andes Mountains is the Kundalini of Gaia. It's shifted in 1985 from the Himalayas. I know people say Himalayan mountains, but a friend of mine, a client, grew up in India. That's why some people say, why do I say Namaste? Well, one of my teachers from India, that's how he says it, the proper way to pronounce it. But it's not a big deal. Like, I know in the West we have trouble pronouncing other languages. I have trouble sometimes myself. But in India, they don't say Himalaya. So, like we say Himalayan sea salt or whatever. It's Himalayan, like Himalayas. That's it. It's a more difficult way to say it, but the Himalayas. I don't know where I was going with that, but the Himalayan, the Kundalini of the earth for thousands of years was through the Himalayan mountains, through Tibet and India and Nepal, and that energy has shifted to South America, where the condor is flying with the eagle, and that's part of the mission. And Ecuador is also considered the hub of the paranormal in South America. It's like, you can think of it like the Sedona or Mount Shasta of South America. It's a beautiful continent. The Galapagos Islands are part of Ecuador, if you don't know. Most people I say, oh, I didn't know that, you know. And Galapagos is a beautiful place, like paradise. I haven't been there myself, but I've done a lot of research and watched a lot of documentaries on Ecuador. So I'm trying not to make this video too long, but there's a lot of things we got to cover. So wanted to thank, I want to start, because many of the people joining our CBD team are healers and light worker. I mean, they're all light workers, but they have some kind of healing practice. We have, and I'm just gonna go, you know, like Kate Garwood. She's does QHHT. She's in, I believe I'm saying this right. I got to get take some notes here because I'm becoming more spatial. I'm going to create a page on Prime Disclosure, which will list anyone that connects with me on the team. Now, if you've joined our CBD team and I haven't responded with an email, that's because I have 4 people directly on my team, and then I'm placing everyone under those 4 people. So I'm only getting your name. I've been contacting several of these people. Won't forward the emails to me. They get the email with your email address and phone number. So some people don't know how to forward an email. So I'm asking you to reach out to me so I can put you in I send traffic to my team's pages to sign up under you, so we all benefit from this, because you'll earn commissions on everyone on your team that purchases the product or sells the products. And many people are having some great results with the CBD oil. Do some research. You can check out one of our team's pages. You'll see their name at the top, and it's 2steps2wealth.com. The number 2 steps, STEPS, number 2 wealth, WEALTH.com. 2 steps to wealth. I wanted to welcome today. We have 79 on our team. Once we hit 144, it will be off the hook here. So I'd like to welcome from the U.S. Laker Hurtado, from Canada, I believe Jeanne Marie McLeod. They came in today. There's been several others I'm having trouble reading. I have a big list here. I just get the names. They don't sign up directly under me. I don't get the email with their contact info. So If this is something you really want to pursue and you signed up, get a hold of me at habanerosun@yahoo.com. I'll help build your business, build your downline. I mean, obviously, to make any money at this and to support the mission to Ecuador, people will have to purchase and sell the products. Don't worry if you don't have any money. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. You can start buying the products. Once you promote, you'll get a couple web pages to sell the products, or they're starting to sell wholesale. So if you have a chiropractic business or an acupuncturist or anything in the health and wellness field, these are products you can promote through your business and earn commissions. And then everyone on your team that purchases the product or sells it, you'll get a little bit of commission. And can be residual if people sign up for like the auto ship, where they have multiple different products, but their main product is CBD oil. They're all organic. All their products are organic. They're non-GMO, and I've done a lot of research on the company. My team has researched, and they have great practices and a very good system on extracting the CBD oils in the best way possible. So thank you all for joining me in that project. I'm going to create a page on Prime Disclosure that will promote, like everyone on my team, on the CBD team, I'll promote your health and wellness business. And then it's a way for our team to connect with each other and to use each other's services, whatever it is you do, say QHHT, acupuncture, body work, whatever that field may be. So I'm in the process of working on that. So today, I wanted to give a quick transmission from Michael Love from the Earth Alliance Planetary Update 4242019. A strong planetary magnetic field disturbance is underway around the surface of planet Earth at this hour as Pleiadian light forces continue clearing out the old 3D matrix energetic debris field, and as they assist in overlaying the new 5D crystalline light matrix on top of the old 3D matrix, two worlds are literally merging into one great ones. When two out-of-sync vibrations come into the same space at the same time, that is 5D and 3D, an offset carrier anti-wave, sometimes referred to as dimensional noise or chaos, is created that affects the Earth's magnetic field directly. Pleiadian Delta Galactic security forces are currently on high alert status and are monitoring this Earth field disturbance that began 72 Earth hours ago and which is still ongoing. The tectonic plates of Earth are currently under extreme pressure as all of this shifting takes place. Planetary geomagnetic forecasts indicate possible strong earthquakes and volcanic activity during the next several Earth days, manifesting layered body ascension symptoms caused by this offset carrier wave, strong headaches, moderate physical, mental, and emotional disturbances out of nowhere, difficulty sleeping, confusion, and irritation. I know many people are reporting that these aggravating energies, these irritation energies. So leave a comment below this video about what you're experiencing, because it does help other Lightworkers and Starseeds through this great transition. Because for one, it lets people know they're not alone in their struggle and their suffering, and that these things are common, that they're not, out of the ordinary. So Mother Earth is just rocking and rolling a bit as things change from one form to another in the physical world. Know that Earth changes are part of the grand evolution and ascension of planet Earth, and that all is well and as it should be. Light beings will always know by intuition beforehand when to move and where to move before the Earth moves. Know fear and don't forget to breathe and stay cool until the dimensional shift that is underway settles. We are the great family of light and bringers of a new day to planet Earth. We are 4.5 billion strong all around the globe, and we are standing with you in this grand Ascension event. Let us know what Ascension symptoms you are experiencing. Godspeed, Michael and the Pleiadians. Thank you all for joining me here today. I'm sending you love and healing vibrations. I appreciate the support, your kindness. I appreciate everyone that shares these videos, leaves comments, gives us a like. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. On tomorrow's transmission, I'll tell you more about, after the world stopped. And I came into this avatar in May of 1973. So at 12 years old, when the world stopped and the whole new world began, I was living on a razor's edge, on the edge of the void, on the edge of abyss for many years. And that was around 1985, which was right around the harmonic convergence. And a year before, I never up until 11 years old, I was never left Cleveland. That was all I knew. I went on a journey with a friend and his parents out west for about a month, and we spent time in Arizona, Texas, and I was able to dance on the reservation with the Hopi or the Navajo. I can't remember. I think it was Hopi. And then I was in Juarez, Mexico, and a shaman. I was in this crowd of people, and it was about 120 degrees that day. And the sun was blasting down on us. There was no shade, and I was overheating. The first day I was down there, I was violently ill, thinking I was going to die in Texas. It's a strange place to leave this realm. No, Texas is great. There's many great people in Texas, but I was I'm not sure by Juarez. I think that's either El Paso or San Antonio, but I remember we were by the Alamo on the first day we were down there, and I was horribly ill. Felt like it's getting ripped to pieces, my organs, and thought this is it, but I recovered by the next day. It was like a 24-hour craziness, but I'm sure I was just releasing the negative energies of this polarity here by Lake Erie. And I'm not bashing Cleveland. It's an amazing place, but it's like Maushan Mountain, and the teachers, the masters always went to the negative portals for the more challenges, just like Maushan Mountain, which I've trained in. Our Sifu is a Maushan master, but he started his own lineage called Kunlun, and he is a Mongolian shaman of the Blue Wolf clan. But let's see here, where was I going? So there was a crowd that I was kind of spinning out. The sun was blasting down on me, and the crowd parted, and who I believe is a shaman now, who may have been Don Juan from the Carlos Castaneda books. Once I was obsessed with those books in the 90s or late 90s, 2000s. I read them a couple times, and when I was really getting into the medicine path, the shamanic path. Now, I'm not claiming I'm a shaman or anything. I'm just a simple person that takes in information and creates my own philosophy. Just like even though I trained in Taoist arts for 12, 15 years, I don't call myself a Taoist. I'm everything and nothing. I don't believe in putting myself in a box, or I take something from everything, create my own philosophy. I keep an open mind and open heart. And even though I teach a Taoist art, I don't call myself Taoist. It's irrelevant. most people that know me or have met me would have no idea that I've trained in these different arts and spiritual practices, and or even that I teach, because it's not something I advertise or talk to most people about. So when that crowd opened and this gentleman walked out, he came up to me and looked me right in the eye and touched me on the cheek, and he said something along the lines of, "You are a golden child and of great beauty and light, and you will change the world." And then that next year is when they sent the reptilian to try and take my avatar out of this realm, and when it all shifted, everything changed, and it opened a whole new dimension, a whole new world. And it took me years and years, going to many shamans, healers, sages, the Buddhist masters, in temple and monastery, which that will be a story for another day, because it's getting kind of long here. I have to cut it short here so I can render this video, upload it, and whatever. It's been a long day, but thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you more than you'll ever know, and I'm sending you much love, light, bliss. You are loved more than you'll ever know. I love you all, beautiful beings of light. Namaste.